All right, this is Brian here at Canon Severe WX, and I'm trying something new here tonight, a special weather discussion concerning our very hot weather week coming up and the drought situation. So let's get right into it. Hopefully everything is working fine. Anyway, this is the first time I'm doing this, and let's see how it goes. All right, so this week we're looking at drought conditions worsening. We're looking at very hot temperatures, increasing dryness that will lead to increasing fire risk. And just a glance at the National Weather Service forecast for this week for Woodbury. And keep in mind, here in Cannon County, we have at least three different elevation levels with different climates. And for Woodbury, it's going to be the hottest down in that area because you're at lower elevation. So at the hottest, we're looking at maybe up to 99 degrees. Not to say some folks may see 100 degrees. And then up in the upper elevations, it won't be quite that hot. Maybe 5 degrees cooler than what you see here. And the upper elevations would be locations such as Short Mountain over to Iconium area, Center Hill, and down to Midway. So, and also let's not forget Moortown and Pleasant View areas. All of those are on the Highland Rim, and they don't get quite as hot as our lower elevations do. And Nashville this week is going to see weather or temperatures reaching up into the 100s. So it's going to be even worse over in the metro area. So let's remember our heat safety this week. Let's remember to limit our time outdoors. Let's drink plenty of water. Let's wear light clothing, wear sunscreen if you have to be outside, and work outdoors early or very late in the day. That's a very good tip right there. A lot of things that need to be done outdoors can be done early or late when the highest temperatures are not happening. Also, I highly recommend drinking Gatorade. If you have to be outside working, Gatorade is a great thing to drink. That's not an endorsement, that's just a personal advice I'm giving. And we're looking at increasing dryness, and that's going to lead to a fire risk this week. Now, this is not official. There are no burn bans in place, but obviously, when you look outside right now, it is already very dry out there, and it's only going to worsen this week. So keep in mind, a drought is a shortage of water over an extended period of time. So a drought doesn't develop overnight. If we have even like 2 or 3 days of dry weather, that's not going to lead to a drought. This happens over a long period of time, and droughts are normal. They're a normal part of a climate cycle. And we've had droughts here before. This has actually lasted now for at least a couple of months. And dry conditions often lead to brush fires and wildfires, and that's what we're concerned about this week. So let's go on to the next slide. And when did it rain last? Now, this is from my weather station here locally, and rain can vary across areas. But here in this immediate area in central Cannon County, the last time we had any rainfall at all was back on August the 18th, and that was very little. Let's see, you can probably see my mouse on the screen, and that is right here. We only had 7/100 of an inch. Look at all of the zeros. That is not a good thing. Mix that with hot temperatures. That is not a good thing at all. And then looking back at August the 3rd, we had a quarter of an inch of rain here. And then all the way back to July the 31st, we had 0.95 inches, so almost an inch. We actually had 2 days of rainfall there that were pretty decent. But that's the last time the ground was probably decently wet. So the rain has not been happening, and that is one of the reasons we're in this situation this week. So, who is vulnerable to fire during drought? Some of you live in the city, and you might think some of this is kind of ridiculous, but there are more people who are more vulnerable to fire. So, think about people living in or near wooded areas, people with limited water supply, such as wells, springs, or rain catchment systems, with the latter two possibly in short supply due to the lack of rain. Some of you may not you might find that kind of hard to believe that people live that way, but there are a lot of people with wells and springs, and some of us even have rain catchment systems, and we do that here at my location, and we are quite low on water right now. And if a fire was to break out, we don't have a supply to fight a fire here. So we want to be smart and responsible. Don't let a bad decision burn forest or homes. And we don't want to make firefighters have to put out fires in excessive heat this week. So please be mindful of that. Also, there's an air quality alert issued for tonight and tomorrow. And this is not for most of us. This is for people with asthma, people with health issues, breathing issues. We have to keep them in mind. So that's another good reason not to be out burning and creating smoke. And keep in mind, sometimes smoke can make its way into people's homes through the air system. So that's just another good reason not to burn this week. So burn bans often come after conditions are already bad. So we want to be proactive and do not wait for the government to tell us to make smart decisions. We want to check in on the vulnerable. Think about people like the Amish. We have an Amish community here, and they may not be aware of this situation. They're out of touch with forecasts. I know they have noticed that it's dry, but if you don't have technology, you may not know what's coming up this week. So if you talk to any of them, please keep them informed. People who might ignore good weather safety advice, often men. Some of us men like to act like we're big and tough and strong, but those are going to be some of the ones who will be most vulnerable, especially the ones who work outdoors. So keep check on the men this week. Make sure they stay hydrated and do not get overheated. When might it rain again? This is this week's detailed forecast from the National Weather Service, and as we look through the week, I have highlighted in green here Friday night, and Saturday. That's when the rain chances start coming back into the forecast, and those are not very high. I mean, that says 30% chance of showers, but also keep in mind that's a 70% chance that it won't rain. So there's a greater chance that it will not rain more than it will rain. So but anyway, that's when the rain comes back into the forecast again. So we have to make it through this week, and possibly further if it doesn't rain later this week. So be mindful of that. So we want to remain informed and remember to do the following things. So we want to remain informed about any burn bans that are issued. Be aware of any energy usage restrictions. Requests that come from TVA, that is prevent blackouts from happening, and be aware of any water usage restrictions. That's for folks who maybe are on city water, and remember to not leave kids in cars. Take care of your pets, please, and livestock, and help wildlife with a little water if you have no nearby water sources. So if you don't live anywhere near a pond or near a stream that's running right now, it may not hurt to put a little water out for them so they can get through this too. So that concludes my little weather discussion here. I hope this was helpful. Hopefully it will spread awareness of our weather situation this week. I want everybody to be safe, everybody take care, and have a great week.